iTunes. All right, so here's our image. Now what I'm going to do is first, I am going to apply a portraiture setting, which is going to smooth out all the skin tones for me. There we go. I'm going to flatten it. I'm going to add another layer that's set on multiply, and that's going to automatically, I've got a shortcut set up and I put a mask on here. Now I'm going to block out that mask with a huge brush and a huge feather over top of my girl here. And what that's going to do is that's going to create a light spot where you can, it's directing people's eye to where you want it to look. Now I'm going to flatten that image again. Now I can see her eyes. A lot of times I don't do this, but if her eyes are really prominent and they're in the shadow, I'll go in, I make another layer, set it to screen, duplicate the layer down here. I'm going to make my brush super small. About the size of her eye is usually where I want it, so let's see here. Right there. Highlight those. I usually take that opacity down, between 60 and 80, so that doesn't look like I've just made these zombie eyes on her. Back up a little bit. Oh. I mean, layers locked. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're pretty close. I think everything looks pretty good. I might want to do, I'm going to duplicate the layer again. I'm going to add a Gaussian blur to it. Again, with a layer mask. I'm going to erase it around where I don't want that blur. Now you want this to be a high feather, otherwise it's going to be super obvious what you're doing. This, again, it just kind of directs the people's eyes where you want it to go so that everything out here isn't so distracting. You want the background, but you don't want it to be taking over your point of interest. And so that is basically it. Actually, with this one, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to duplicate the layer again. I'm going to make it black and white. I'm going to set it to overlay. Now what that did is, you can see it just made the if I turn this off, now watch the image. If I turn it back on, the blacks get much blacker, the whites get a little bit whiter. I usually bring this way down to about 19 or 20, and it's just enough to give it a little bit of an effect, give it some depth. And I kind of like it there. So now I'm going to close that out. Command W, save it. I'm going to go back in here. Now in Lightroom, it should have automatically saved me right, where was it, right here? Okay, so here's the before picture. And here's after we photoshopped it. So you can see the difference in how much more striking it is. Now the cropping, always make sure that you're straight with the horizon line. It's just going to look weird if you don't. I know there's some creative ways out there to make, take the picture diagonally, but then try to hang that on the wall in a frame. It's going to look terrible. There's no way to hang it so it looks straight, because everything in the picture is crooked and the frame could be straight, or vice versa. So yeah, I crop it down. I kind of bring her over to the 2/3, 5/8 mark rather than having her dead center. And so now we've got the original and the finished product. And that's basically how we do everything.